Hello Netflix junkies, my name is Derek and welcome to the Netflix Knowhow. Today we are going to be taking a look at John Dies at the End, Love Actually, and The Sacrament. First up is John Dies at the End, written and directed by Don Coscarelli and starring Chase Williamson, Rob Mays, and Paul Giamatti. The Netflix synopsis reads, promising a trip that transcends time and space, a drug called soy sauce is sweeping the landscape and quietly robbing users of their humanity. Now I've had some unpleasant soy sauce experiences, but good gravy, this is one bad batch of soy sauce. I'd try to explain the plot, but I actually think it would be quicker and easier to give you an in-depth analysis of quantum mechanics. So basically all you need to know is that these guys take this drug and then stuff gets weird. Weird is a light way to put it. You know, I don't actually think there's a word strong enough to describe the levels of insanity going on in this film. And I like weird. Weird can be great. But weird for the sake of being weird or weird without a purpose, that's a bit less great. That's kind of the impression I got from this film. All sorts of bizarre, crazy, drug-fueled shenanigans are going on, but it all feels very surface level in the end. Stuff just seems to happen and nothing gets explained, and the film seems to suggest that there's some sort of grand rhyme and reason going on to all of this, but it never actually goes anywhere with it. Apparently this is based on a book, and if that's the case, I don't even want to imagine what kind of mind-melting monstrosity that is. It's a shame, really, because I feel like this brain implosion of a movie could have easily been a cult masterpiece with more thought-provoking material to support it. As is, it comes off as little more than your average traveling freak show. Fun and interesting to look at, but hardly memorable when it's gone. Thumbs down. Next up is Love Actually, written and directed by Richard Curtis and starring, everybody. Hugh Grant, Emma Thompson, Colin Firth, Liam Neeson, Laura Linney, Bill Nighy, Keira Knightley, Martine McCutcheon, Alan Rickman, and Martin Freeman. Just to name a few. The Netflix synopsis reads, this ensemble comedy is a charming treatise on romance, telling 10 intertwining London love stories leading up to a climax on Christmas Eve. So for those of you not already familiar with this well-known romantic comedy, it's basically just a glorified game of finding the common link leading back to Hugh Grant. Kidding. Well, sort of. As the synopsis suggests, this is a big story telling a bunch of smaller stories all relating to love in one form or another. There's far too many of them for me to talk about every single one, but what I can say is that I was really impressed with the amount of variety in the stories that they were able to tell. One follows a 10-year-old boy on his quest to impress his first schoolboy crush. One follows a new prime minister as he navigates the complicated world of politics and dating. One follows a husband and wife as their marriage slowly falls apart. There's even a story about people making a softcore porno. What, you thought this was going to be a classy movie? Yes, this may be an early 2000s romantic comedy, but it does manage to rise above many of the stereotypes and cliches that bog down other films in this same genre. My favorite part of the film, and ironically the part that has least to do with the main plot, involves an aging rock star who is trying to make a comeback through use of a terrible new Christmas single, and he's painfully aware of how bad it is. The genius is that he owns its awfulness, and it's hilarious the entire time. I think his story arc alone is worth the watch. Now, it may not be a groundbreaking film, but it is an enjoyable film, and I can certainly understand why it stuck around for all these years. Thumbs up. Finally, we have The Sacrament, written and directed by Ty West, and starring A.J. Bowen, Joe Swanberg, Amy Seimetz, Kentucky Audley, and Gene Jones. The Netflix synopsis reads, this unnerving tale recounts the story of an exiled Christian cult and the grisly events that transpire after 3 journalists arrive at the commune, Jonestown. It's basically the story of Jonestown. For those of you who don't know what Jonestown is, it was essentially a cult led by a certified religious nutjob who went off and started their own little jungle village and ended up drinking the Kool-Aid, if you know what I mean. Just look it up. It's freaky and weird and really messed up. You know what else is messed up? This movie. It's not often that I run into a film that makes me feel legitimately icky deep down inside, but boy oh boy does this one do the trick. It is in the found footage style, so if that's not your thing, you probably won't get much enjoyment out of this. However, I was on the edge of my seat witnessing all of the events unfold. The film does a fantastic job of sculpting this perfect little world that the cult members have built for themselves, and why they choose to live this way, all the while drip feeding us little holes and cracks in the foundation until things finally unravel in truly horrific fashion by the end. It's filled with moments and scenes that just make you squirm in your seat trying to watch them. There was one scene in particular, an interview with the cult leader known simply as Father, that left me feeling as if I had been entranced by some kind of sinister dark magic. It was freaky. But as much praise as I'm giving this film, I will be the first to admit that it is highly predictable. If you know anything about the Jonestown Massacre, you basically know everything that's going to happen in this film, and I was really disappointed by the fact that they didn't take any real risks with the story. Having said that, the tension and the build-up and the truly disturbing ending are so good that I still can't help but love this film. Turns out the greatest horrors are the horrors that people commit on each other. Thumbs up. Thanks for tuning in. I am so glad that you stopped by and decided to watch my video. This is only the second episode in this series, so still working out some kinks and everything. But hopefully you maybe learned something new, found something interesting to watch on Netflix. If you like this video and you want to see more, please hit the subscribe button, and I will see you all next time, Netflix bingers.